Are you navigating the maze of getting an apostille for your birth certificate in Indiana? Whether you're planning an international move, getting married abroad, or another important reason, securing this document is crucial, and we're here to guide you through every step.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've put together a really clear, chronological roadmap for this explainer. We're going to cover the basics of an apostille, how to collect your documents, how to actually submit that application, the fees and processing times, and finally, some expert tips. I promise, this bureaucratic maze is completely manageable.
Section 1. Basics of an apostille. Let's quickly establish what this crucial document actually achieves on a global scale. So, what even is an apostille? Well, it's essentially a special certificate issued by the Indiana Secretary of State. Its whole job is to verify the authenticity of the signature, the seal, and the position of the public official who issued your document. Getting this specific authentication is what makes your birth certificate legally recognized in foreign countries under the 1961 Hague Convention. Now, here is a really important thing to keep in mind. An apostille is strictly for international use. Because of the U.S. Constitution's full faith and credit clause, states and domestic territories automatically recognize each other's vital records. That means if you're just moving from Indiana to a U.S. territory like Puerto Rico, the Indiana Secretary of State is actually legally prohibited from issuing an apostille for that. You simply don't need one.
You know, a really common point of confusion we see is the difference between an apostille and notarization. They are totally different things. Notarization is about verifying the identity of the person signing a document, and that's primarily for domestic use. An apostille, on the other hand, authenticates the document itself and the official seal for international use. So, for Indiana vital records, like your birth certificate, you absolutely do not need to get it notarized before applying for an apostille. Actually, scratch that. You shouldn't do it. Getting it notarized is an unnecessary extra step that's just going to confuse the process. The certified state or county seal already on the birth certificate is literally all the Secretary of State needs to see.
Section 2. Collecting your documents. Moving into the preparation phase, getting the correct underlying vital record is your absolute most critical first step. So, the crucial point is you have to get the right type of birth certificate. Indiana issues two main formats. You have the standard short form and the comprehensive long form, which is often called the birth long. The short form only states basic identity facts, and while Indiana might technically authenticate it, many foreign governments will outright reject short form certificates. Why? Because they lack the comprehensive data required for things like dual nationality applications. The long form, however, has the whole shebang. It includes the exact time of delivery, the specific hospital, and your parents' birth dates and states of origin. To make sure your document is accepted abroad without any hiccups, you should always procure a certified long-form birth certificate.
So where do you actually get this long-form certificate? You essentially have two options: the Indiana Department of Health, the IDOH in Indianapolis, or your local county health department. The IDOH charges a standard $10 fee for the initial copy, while local counties can vary a bit, usually between $10 and $18. The IDOH is great because they hold centralized records going all the way back to October 1907. But keep in mind, birth records are not public documents in Indiana. To order one, you have to demonstrate immediate kinship, meaning you are the person named on the record or a parent, child, or grandparent. And you'll need proper state identification to prove it. While local counties might sometimes process requests a tiny bit faster, the IDOH remains your primary and most reliable source for securing those comprehensive long-form birth certificates you need for international legalizations.
Section 3. Submitting your application. We're moving into the execution phase now. You've got your certified long-form birth certificate in hand, so how do you officially submit it?
Let's move to the submission process and see how this all builds together. First up, as we just discussed, you have your freshly procured certified long-form copy, with absolutely no notarization, right? Second, you need to complete State Form 56720. That's the request for apostille authentication. Take your time here and do not skip any fields. You've got to include your full contact details, specify that it's a birth certificate, and most importantly, you must accurately list the destination country. The state has to know exactly where this is going so they can issue the correct certification. Third, assemble your package. If you're mailing this in, it is absolutely crucial that you include a self-addressed stamped envelope, an SASE, so they can actually return your authenticated document to you.
You've basically got two primary pathways to submit everything to the Business Services Division in Indianapolis: in person or by mail. Going in person is incredibly efficient, especially if you use their online scheduler to book an appointment. With an appointment, they'll process up to 10 documents while you wait, giving you same-day, immediate delivery. That's a huge time saver. Even if you walk in without an appointment, they will still process up to 5 documents while you wait in the lobby. Mail-in submissions are honestly quite fast too. Once the office receives your package, their turnaround time is typically just 1 to 2 business days. But of course, you do have to factor in postal transit times on both ends, so plan accordingly.
Section 4. Fees and processing times. Let's talk about the logistics of time and money, and prepare for a highly beneficial, surprising fact for Indiana residents.
Now, what's really interesting here is that in Indiana, authenticating a birth certificate costs exactly $0. Yep, it's free. While the standard state filing fee for authenticating typical business or legal documents is $2, Indiana law specifically exempts vital records like birth and death certificates from this fee. So if you are mailing in your own Indiana birth certificate, you do not need to include a check or money order for the state fee. It is completely free to process. How great is that?
Section 5. Expert Tips and FAQs. Welcome to the Masterclass section of this explainer. Let's address some common failure modes to make sure your application is totally flawless. Securing international documents means navigating some pretty strict rules, so let's look at the most common reasons people get rejected. First, submitting a hospital souvenir birth certificate with the little footprints on it instead of a state-certified copy. Those won't work. Second, outdated registrar signatures. If you submit a really old birth certificate signed by an official who is no longer active, the state might not have their signature specimen on file to verify it. It's always safest to just order a newly certified copy right before you apply. Third, mixing up jurisdictions. The Indiana Secretary of State cannot apostille an FBI background check, for example. That's a federal document, and it has to go to Washington, D.C. And finally, tampering with the finished product. Since July 2022, Indiana uses the Model Apostille Single Certificate. It's a trilingual form that gets stapled directly to your document with a blue state seal stamp. And this brilliantly illustrates a critical rule. Removing those staples instantly renders the document legally void. Never, ever unstaple your apostille.
So while the state processing fee is $0, you might find yourself in a situation where you're already overseas, or you're just on an impossibly tight deadline where you can't fly out to Indianapolis or wait on the mail. In those cases, you can utilize third-party private expediting services, like Visa DC or Visimit. Think of these agencies as your intermediaries. They physically hand-deliver your documents to the Secretary of State and can resolve any little discrepancies in real time. Just be aware that while the state itself doesn't charge you, these private services will definitely charge processing fees. Those typically range from about $50 to $108 plus whatever shipping costs are involved. But it's an optional convenience factor that a lot of people find incredibly helpful when time is of the essence.
Before we wrap up, please note, this video is for informational purposes only. While we strive to offer accurate and up-to-date information, please consult with official sources or legal professionals for personalized assistance. But I want you to think about it for a second. This single, verified piece of paper, once it's properly prepared and stamped, is literally the key that unlocks your entire global journey, whether that's launching a new career, an international marriage, or just a bold new life abroad. So, where will your apostille take you?